I'm doing a fresh reaction because Dragon Ball Daima just finished. It just finished airing. What an episode. This is going to be super spoiler heavy. It's going to be a quick rundown of basically what happened, my initial thoughts and reactions. So if you haven't watched the show or anything, you probably want to click out of here. But this is going to be probably be unedited, so it's going to be raw and just my thoughts because like I said, I just finished watching it. What a crazy episode. But it's not going to satisfy some people. I think a lot of people, because there's a lot of loose ends that I don't think were resolved unless I misunderstood some things. So basically what happened was the episode starts with the fight between Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Goma, and at this point it's still not Super Saiyan 4, right? He calls it a bonus. He transforms and he starts wailing on this guy. And what follows is some of the most beautiful animation that I've ever seen in Dragon Ball, probably ever. And it was really amazing. It just put a smile on my face immediately. And it's late here and I'm already tired, but this woke me up actually because of how good the fight was. I think with Super Saiyan 4 is you never really saw a good fight with him. Yes, GT has moments of brilliance, but I think one of the things that it doesn't do well is the fight coordination. We love the hits, the physical hits. GT does a lot of beam spamming and 10 times Kamehamehas and stuff like that. Here, when you see Goku fighting, I do think actually his fight here is much better than the one we saw last week. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta was awesome, but this one, I don't know, it felt so weighty. It felt like Goma wasn't just a punching bag, he was actually taking damage. Even though he kept recovering, it still felt like Goku was doing something. And if this was the time to showcase how strong Super Saiyan 4 is, they did a fantastic job. Goku hit like a truck. You could feel the weight, you could feel the intensity of his hits, and one of the coolest scenes is when he does this, like, I wish it was times 10, but it wasn't. Might as well have been Kamehameha that basically rips through the different levels of different worlds. It was so awesome. It felt like such they could have messed it up, but it felt to me as good as Gogeta's Kamehameha at the end of the Broly movie. So that was within the first about 10 minutes or so. The plan that Goku and Piccolo had unfortunately falls apart because Piccolo messes it up. He does kind of a good job, but then he gets hit at the last second for Majin Ku to save the day. So he's actually the one who comes in, basically just whacks Goma on the back of the head, and the third eye pops out. And that's it. He's done. He's taken care of. He's cleaned up within like the first 15 minutes. Goma and Degesu are eventually put away. They're sealed away, basically Mafuba style. Everyone's nice and happy, but they need a new demon king for the realm, right? Who is going to be Goma and Alberto's successor. And originally it was going to be Arinsu, but she's like, no, I don't want it. So then they decide that it should be Majin Ku because he's the one who technically defeated Goma. He becomes a Demon King and he starts making everybody, he's given them positions in his new cabinet and everyone seems thrilled with the idea for the most part. Then it wraps up with everybody going home, they all say their goodbyes, and it's interesting Goku and Vegeta have this thing. I like it because it's not just Goku being like, whatever, but Vegeta's like being all jealous and Goku's kind of like, dude, alright, we get it. And he just casually drops it right there. Vegeta's like, that transformation in Goku. What, Super Saiyan 4 you mean? I was like, oh, dude. That's all I needed to hear. That's all we needed to hear. We got the official confirmation. The next in line, the successor, taking its rightful place where it always belonged in the line, Super Saiyan 4 is official. And people will say, oh, but it was, who cares about the story and this, and Toei never cared and all them never cared. People cared. They know the fans cared. We got it. It's official. Good enough. And then there's this funny little bit where Vegeta, Goku's like, well, you turned Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta's like, no, that was Super Vegeta number 1 or Ultra Vegeta number 1 or something like that. And he's trying to distance himself and, not copy Goku, right? But no Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Sorry, hate to break it to you. They go ahead and leave, and Goku, on the way back, he says, hey, if we go get some of those bugs, they really helped us out. We're running out of senzus. So they actually, before they get there, they play the credits and it's the opening theme song. And it's really nice. It's very beautiful. It shows all the characters growing up again and where they are. Again, no Gohan though. So I don't know. They kind of just like completely left him out. Maybe they just felt like, hey, you know what? He got his thing in superhero. He doesn't need to be in here. Then they go ahead and they get to the store. The lady's surprised to see them because they've grown up. Goku's like, hey, we need those bugs. They helped out a lot. She's surprised because she thinks basically that's what caused them to grow up. Then they find she's selling some of those third eyes, those demon-eyed things, and they freak out, and that's basically where the episode ends. So what does this mean? Well, okay, speculation time and kind of my overall thoughts. I think there's got to be another series. There has to be. I don't know how. I don't know what they're going to tie it into. Do we get a Daima season 2? Very likely. I think it's very likely. I haven't heard any leaks or anything like that, but there's just too many loose ends in terms of how this is going to tie into Super, right? The big one, the elephant in the room, is Super Saiyan 4. Like, it's official. It's a part of the line now. Where do we go from here? Goku clearly doesn't use it in Super going on afterwards, so what? They're not going to redo Super. They're not going to erase that story. They're still going to try to tie it in somehow. So the next logical step is leave it open for another series. I mean, it's certainly possible. It was only 20 episodes, right? So, yeah, why not? Why not have another 20 episode thing? Could they continue to have more adventures in the demon realm as they're adults? Sure. The reason they became kids, basically the producer was saying this was channeling Dragon Ball GT for the people who grew up in that era. It's been about 30 years, so they wanted to do this, which I think is fine. And you introduce Super Saiyan 4 into the story, great. But because they don't explain where that's going, and they don't explain where they don't, and then now they've introduced more third eyes. This just opens up a whole realm of possibilities. Literally, I don't think their journey in the demon realm is over just yet. I can see another season of Daima. I know a lot of people want Super to come back, but I think we should get another season. I loved it. Like I said, I thought the episode was great. The animation was beautiful. Tied up the story for the most part, very nice. And I like to see the characterization kind of resemble what I knew Dragon Ball to be. One thing that was very frustrating about Super was how Goku was basically an idiot and everyone's flanderized and acts a certain way. But the characters felt more nuanced here. I liked it, and it felt like a return to form. It really did. On the final note, this was officially the 1 year. It's been 1 year since Akira Toriyama passed away, and it was a bit, not somber watching the episode. I felt very happy, but seeing his name show up, it's the first name that shows up in the credits. I felt a little bit. It was at that moment. That's when it kind of hit me like, okay, this is it. And he did awesome. I just wish we could see his comment on the show. I wish you could have seen the fan reaction and see how happy it made people, because I think next to putting Broly in, I think this might have been a beautiful ace. We've had a lot of renewed attention with Wukong and that story. Things like Black Myth came out and whatnot, but to bring it full circle, right? Goku becoming the Super Saiyan 4 and tying it, really, it does tie back into Dragon Ball with the Great Ape and everything. It's beautiful. I like it, and that fight scene was freaking awesome. It was everything I could have asked for. As a huge fan of Dragon Ball GT, all of its flaws, this was amazing. I had a really fun time with the show, and I'm curious to see what you all think. I loved it. I know people are going to hate. Some people already are hating, but I think it was good, and I think this is the direction Dragon Ball should go, and I like this idea of not having it serialized every week, but make it a small series. The era of long-running shows, aside from One Piece, I think is over. Make an arc, animate an arc, American TV style, or normal Japanese anime style. 20 episodes, 30 episodes even, if you want to go crazy. I think 20 something is fine. You can make a good, consistent story, and it can bring the hype. Sometimes you need a little bit of rest, and Daima proves that when you put the time and energy and effort into something beautiful will happen. Now, of course, going forward, there is going to be no more Toriyama Sensei, so the tone and the show will change, but I think his spirit will live on. It's a little bit cliche to say, but his spirit is going to live on through the show, through the things that he made, and it's a bit somber, but again, beautiful ending. I loved it. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Really quick video, kind of down and dirty, crazy, but Dragon Ball Daima. It's all finished. Thanks again for watching, everyone. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.